Imagine this. A European linguistics professor fluent in 40 languages traveled to over 60 countries' lands in Manila for the first time. On day 3, he hears a Filipino say a single word and suddenly freezes, a word he can't translate. A word that doesn't exist in English, French, German, Japanese, nothing. He asks a local what it means. The Filipino just smiles and says, "Ah, you don't define it. You feel it." The professor laughs. 3 days later, 3 dictionaries later, 27 interviews later, still clueless. That word? Kilig. But he didn't know. It was only the first Filipino word the world can't translate. And today, you'll discover why these words exist, and why they reveal more about Filipino identity than any history book ever could. Stay with me, because the last word will change how you see the Filipino soul forever. Kilig is one of those emotions that every human has felt, but only Filipinos bothered to give it a name. Try explaining it. It's when your stomach flips. No, when your heart jumps. Actually, it's when something romantic happens, but also cute, but also exciting. None of it matches. Because kilig isn't a single feeling. It's the collision of feelings. It's your crush saying your name in a special tone, the accidental brush of fingers, the surprise message at 1 a.m., a compliment that hits deeper than expected. It's emotional electricity, romance compressed into a spark. You can't translate kilig, because kilig isn't a word, it's a moment. It's the heartbeat you hear in your ears, the warmth spreading through your chest, the smile you can't hide. The professor realized, sometimes language doesn't describe emotions, it tries to capture magic, and some magic refuses to be translated. And if kilig is sweet, the next word makes foreigners glitch. Tampo. I'm not mad, I'm just hurt, but in a soft way. But also notice me, but don't annoy me, but comfort me. Try explaining that. The professor actually witnessed Tampo firsthand when a local guide stopped talking to him for 20 minutes. He panicked. What did I do wrong? The guide just said, "Don't worry, sir." Tampo lang. Tampo isn't anger, it's emotional pause. A tender sulking that says, "I trust you to fix this." In psychology, Tampo is even classified as a relationship-strengthening behavior. Foreigners don't have a word for it, because they don't have the cultural rhythm for it. Now here's the word that completely broke the professor. Gigil. He first heard it in a mall. A mother saw her chubby baby and squealed, "Ay nako," and Gigil ko sayo. The professor watched, horrified. She squeezed the child's cheeks so hard he thought she was angry. She wasn't. She was delighted. Gigil is the urge to squeeze, pinch, bite, or shake something, because it's too cute, too annoying, or too emotionally overwhelming. A puppy running toward you? Gigil. A baby smiling at you? Gigil. Your crush accidentally laughing at your joke? Gigil. Your sibling annoying you for the 5th time today? Still Gigil. Scientists call it cute aggression, but even scientists admit the Filipino word describes it better, because Gigil isn't logical. It's primal. It's emotional overload. It's affection and frustration colliding in the same breath. When the professor tried saying Gigil, Filipinos clapped. You felt it, sir. Not bad. And for once, he understood a Filipino word by emotion, not translation. Then the professor saw something that shocked him. After a sudden flood, he watched strangers helping strangers. No instructions, no hesitation. He asked, "What do you call this?" They said, "Bayanihan." Not teamwork, not volunteerism, not unity. Bayanihan is collective instinct, the automatic Filipino reflex to help. It's the unwritten rule. Your burden is mine. No language has a single word for that, except Filipino. Next, the professor encountered a phrase he completely misunderstood. Utang na loob. He thought it meant debt, not even close. This is not money, not obligation. It is gratitude, rooted in the soul. A friend who helped you when you had nothing. A relative who paid your tuition. A neighbor who saved your family during a crisis. You don't owe them, you honor them for life. Foreign languages treat gratitude as a moment. Filipinos treat it as a relationship. Sayang puzzled the professor the most. Filipinos say it so casually, yet it carries a whole world of emotion. Missed the jeepney by a few seconds? Sayang. Almost passed the exam? Sayang, almost confessed your feelings. Sayang isn't harsh regret. It's regret with gentleness. Regret that still believes something good was possible. Regret that imagines the alternate reality, where things worked out. It carries loss, but not bitterness. Sadness, but not despair. It's emotional softness, the belief that life could have turned out differently, and maybe still can. But the final word, the one the professor struggled with the most, the one that reveals the soul of Filipino morality, is Hiya. He saw a teenager refuse a brand new gift because he didn't want to look greedy. He saw a family hide their difficulties to avoid burdening others. He saw workers apologize for the inconvenience, even when it wasn't their fault. At first he thought, is this shyness? Embarrassment? No. Hiya is self-awareness, respect, humility, honor, social balance. Hiya is the invisible force that keeps Filipino behavior gentle, considerate, mindful. It's not fear of judgment. It's fear of harming someone else's dignity. No Western word fits that, because Hiya is not about you. It's about the space between people and how Filipinos protect it. On his final night in Manila, the professor sat by his hotel window, listening to the city hum. He opened his notebook. He tried once more to translate the words. Kilig, Tampo, Gigil, Bayanihan, Utang, loob, Sayang, Hiya. And for the first time he understood the truth. These words cannot be translated because they are not just words. They are emotional landscapes. They are cultural fingerprints. They are stories compacted into syllables. Filipinos didn't just invent vocabulary. They invented emotional precision. Where other cultures simplify emotions, Filipinos give them depth, texture, meaning, warmth. These words reveal a people who feel deeply, love deeply, hurt gently, forgive generously, help instinctively, and carry gratitude forever. When the professor returned to Europe, his students asked him, "What was the hardest language you ever studied?" He smiled. "Filipino," he said, "because it's not a language you translate. It's a language you live, and that is why the world can't translate these Filipino words. Because the world doesn't need definitions. It needs the feeling behind them. And that feeling? That is something only the Filipino heart knows how to express."